The Buga appears to be real. Scientists cannot explain numerous anomalies about this bizarre yet familiar object. And it's not the only one. New startling findings have been discovered in the most unexpected place. The Chilbolton crop circle discovered in 2001 is believed to be a response to Carl Schorn and Frank Drake's cosmic bow. Some researchers are claiming the Buga sphere has that same connection in relation to the depiction of a sophisticated antenna. Amazingly, there appear to be advanced fiber optic sensors within the sphere. And now a new question arises. Who created it? Metallic spheres which have been known to appear as plasma orbs have been filmed all over the world for years. Are they ET reconnaissance craft or the result of secret black projects? Back-engineered, crashed or gifted technology that we have utilized as our own? If that's the case, why are they seen in such random remote places? Music, it began without warning. On the evening of March 2, 2025, residents of Buga, a tranquil town nestled in Colombia's lush Valle del Cla, looked to the sky and saw something that defied reason. A metallic sphere, smooth and gleaming, hurtled silently through the clouds. It danced across the atmosphere with movements no human craft could mimic, sudden shifts, gravity-defying arcs, and a final descent that was eerily precise. Then it was gone until morning came. That's when they found it. Partially embedded in soft soil just beyond the tree-in. The object lay untouched. A perfect sphere, cool to the touch, seamless and impossibly smooth. It bore no serial number, no hatch, no indication of assembly. And yet, upon closer inspection, it revealed something even stranger. Tiny engravings etched into its surface. Not random scratches, but deliberate symbols like uniform from ancient Mesopotamia fused with circuit board geometry and the angular notations of forgotten alphabets. They called it the Buga sphere. Initial analysis yielded more questions than answers. Attempts to measure its hardness gave widely different results. At times, it felt malleable like soft aluminum. At others, it was impervious even to industrial tools. A magnet brought it to life, not visibly, but internally, as if something shifted, as though fields were disrupted. The surface temperature dropped inexplicably, falling below room temperature in seconds before rebounding again. And then came the black patches, not paint, not carbon scoring. These dark spots on the sphere resisted all forms of analysis, unaffected by pressure, temperature, or abrasion. Some researchers speculated they were scars. Others thought they were ports designed for interfacing with something or someone else. But the most baffling effect of all was its refusal to be scanned. Laboratory equipment malfunctioned mid-process. Devices froze, crashed, rebooted. On more than 10 separate occasions, scientists reported that their machine simply refused to recognize the object. As if within its stillness, the sphere pushed back. Many whispered what they feared to admit out loud. The Buga sphere was not from here. The deeper they probed, the more elusive the truth became, a mystery wrapped in seamless alloy and ancient code resting now in human hands, but possibly not meant for them. And so began the investigation that would ignite global attention, rekindle decades-old alien contact theories, and unearth eerie connections to symbols found in English crop circles. Most notably, a formation that appeared just after Carl Schorn's Arecibo message was beamed into deep space. Coincidence? Or was this silent sphere the long-awaited answer? Now, let's take a look at what is being described as the intricate transmission and reception system located on the sphere's upper portion. As known, 16 points appear, represented on what seems to be a diagram or chip. 2 points specifically seem dedicated to orienting the sphere, noticeably longer than the other 14 points, forming 7 points on each side. This detail holds significant importance as a message that arrived on Earth in August 2001 in English crop fields. A binary-coded reply to Frank Drake and Carl Schorn's original message depicted a large antenna featuring precisely the same points observed on the sphere. Could this be a mere coincidence or a vital clue offering valuable insight into improved extraterrestrial communication methods? The research suggests it is the method these beings utilize for message transmission and reception. Proceeding now to the analysis. On November 16, 1974, a binary-coded message designed by scientists Frank Drake and Carl Schorn was broadcast from the Arecibo radio telescope in Puerto Rico. The intention was for technologically advanced extraterrestrial intelligences to receive and decode it. Specifically directed toward the Hercules constellation near the Milky Way's edge and approximately 25,000 light-years away. The message described Earth's solar location, foundational mathematics and science, human DNA, physical dimensions, population, and depicted the Arecibo telescope itself. Unexpectedly, 27 years later, on August 21, 2001, a response appeared. In Hampshire, near the heavily guarded Chilbolton radio telescope, two impressive formations emerged in a wheat field, one depicting a humanoid face, the other containing the reply to Drake and Schorn's message, similarly arranged in binary code. The responding extraterrestrial intelligence provided specific information regarding their identity, origin, and biology. Their decimal system closely resembled humanity's, and the essential life-forming atoms, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and carbon were mutual to both species. Although intriguingly, they also included silicon-14. Their DNA, unlike human double-helix DNA, was triple-stranded, and their larger genome suggested an advanced evolutionary stage. Physically distinct, they measured around 1.25 meters with disproportionately large heads. Earth's population in 1974 was about 4.292 billion, whereas their population was around 5 billion. They inhabited 3 planets and several moons in their solar system. Lastly, their antenna, 85 m in diameter at 2.38 MHz, was compared to the Arecibo antenna, 306 m and 1 trillion watt. Remarkably, analysis of the Buga sphere revealed striking similarities between its engravings and the antenna representation discovered in English crop fields. These engravings possibly depict an advanced emitter-receiver mechanism with precisely 7 points at each end, matching Chilbolton's antenna exactly, a detail emerging 24 years after the sphere's recovery, mirroring the emitter-receiver points from the original message. The Buga sphere isn't the first strange metallic orb to baffle scientists and stir imaginations. In 1974, across the world in the scorched forests of Fort George Island, Florida, another enigma was discovered. A perfectly polished metal sphere. Seamless, silent, and heavy, lying untouched in the aftermath of a fire. The Betts family brought it home, unaware they just welcomed something extraordinary. It responded to sound. It vibrated to music. It rolled on its own, changing direction, defying gravity, even seeming to think. X-rays revealed smaller spheres inside, wired, sealed in place with no sign of entry. The military, scientists, even UFO researchers couldn't explain it. Some believed it was alien, others an advanced surveillance device. But after it vanished under mysterious circumstances, we were left with only questions. 2 spheres, 2 continents, and 1 haunting mystery. Who or what left them behind? The Betts family had been surveying damage on their property when they stumbled upon a gleaming metallic sphere nestled among the charred grass. About 8 inches in diameter with a polished stainless steel surface. It was completely smooth except for a tiny triangle etched on its face. Curious, they brought it home. At first, it was nothing more than a strange souvenir from the aftermath. They placed it on a window sill, thinking little of it. But that would change. Soon, the sphere began to move on its own. It rolled across the floor, changed direction, and even returned to whoever pushed it. It didn't behave like a ball, it behaved like it had a mind of its own. It became active in sunlight, would hum in response to music, and occasionally emitted a strange vibration. The Betts family's dog reacted with fear, barking at it, then running from the room. This wasn't a toy. It was something else. Word got out. The local press arrived. Skeptics came and left stunned. Jacksonville newspapers ran headlines like "Bizarre Sphere is Castle's latest mystery happening," referencing the Betts family's home, a grand eerie mansion with a reputation of its own. Once abandoned and rumored to be haunted, it now played host to a mystery captivating the world. Adding to the credibility of the Betts family's claims was Jerry Betts, the family matriarch, a respected businesswoman and a pillar of the Jacksonville community. Known for her sharp mind and no-nonsense attitude, Jerry had built a successful trucking business and was actively involved in local politics. Her standing in the community made her an unlikely source of sensational stories. If someone like Jerry was willing to stake her reputation on the sphere's bizarre behavior, many began to wonder. Maybe this wasn't just a tall tale after all. As the media frenzy intensified, so did the interest of official institutions. The United States Navy requested to examine the sphere after reports of its strange properties reached them. They first attempted to X-ray it at Seal Field Naval Air Station, but the machine couldn't penetrate the sphere's dense metallic shell, which only raised more questions. Unwilling to give up, the Navy moved the sphere to a more advanced facility in Jacksonville, equipped with higher-powered imaging tools. What they found was nothing short of astonishing. The sphere was hollow with a stainless steel shell approximately an inch thick. But inside were three smaller metallic spheres suspended as if floating, along with traces of an unidentified powder, possibly sand. The internal configuration was puzzling. Why was it built this way? And how did those smaller spheres get inside? A small triangular mark on the surface, they suggested, might explain its strange rolling behavior. But that simple theory didn't account for the rest of its anomalies. As the mystery deepened, local radio host Ron Kivett became one of the most vocal advocates of the sphere's otherworldly origin. Spending time with the Betts family, he personally witnessed the sphere's inexplicable movements and even photographed it. He recounted a particularly chilling moment. As he prepared to leave the house, the sphere rolled to the edge of a glass table, stopped, and seemed to stare. It was almost like it was saying, "Don't forget me," Kivett said, a quote later echoed on programs like Ancient Aliens. As more eyes turned to the phenomenon, theories began to flood in. Some believed the sphere might be a gyroscopic guidance device, possibly military in origin. Others speculated it was part of a secret weapons system or even a probe from another world. Among the most notable investigators was Dr. J. Allen Hynek, the famed astronomer and UFO researcher who had worked on Project Blue Book. Heck spent several days at the Betts residence observing the sphere and even requesting to sleep in the same room with it to monitor its behavior overnight. Though his official findings were never made public, Hynek's involvement brought a new level of scientific legitimacy to the case. In 1975, the National Enquirer organized a scientific panel to investigate UFO phenomena, and the Betts sphere was included in their inquiry. The panel featured Hynek, psychologist Dr. Leo Sprinkle, and other respected academics. They examined the object during a conference in New Orleans and reported witnessing it exhibit strange movements, including once again rolling uphill. Meanwhile, more down-to-earth theories emerged. A local artist named James Derling Jones claimed that years earlier, he had transported a batch of large metal spheres atop his Volkswagen bus for an art project. He suggested the Betts sphere might simply be one that had fallen off his vehicle. However, he was evasive about where the spheres had come from, possibly hinting they weren't his to begin with. Some questioned whether he was merely trying to capitalize on the media buzz. Then came another claim. A woman named Lahi Robinson told the press her children had played with a similar sphere for years in their garage. Her story led some to believe the Betts sphere could be a common industrial part, something like a ball check valve used in heavy machinery. Later, spectrographic analysis confirmed that the sphere was made from stainless steel 431, a material often used in industrial settings. But even with this evidence, the Betts family wasn't convinced. Jerry Betts famously questioned whether stainless steel could also be used by extraterrestrial civilizations, challenging reporters with a pointed question, who's to say what's used on another planet? Dr. James Harter, a member of the National Enquirer scientific panel, continued to pursue more extraordinary explanations. He insisted the X-ray results revealed that the smaller metallic balls inside the sphere were composed of elements heavier than anything known to science, with atomic numbers higher than 140. He even speculated that drilling into the sphere could cause it to explode like an atomic bomb, an assertion that, while sensational, was never substantiated by further research. As the Betts sphere drew attention from scientists and military officials, something changed, literally. According to the Betts family, after allowing the U.S. Navy and other experts to examine the object, it began behaving differently. The humming stopped. The erratic movement ceased. And perhaps most mysteriously, a visible seam appeared on the surface where there had once been none. To the family, this wasn't just a mechanical shift. It was a red flag. Many began to wonder, could the original sphere have been switched out? The idea wasn't far-fetched. The Navy had access to advanced equipment. They'd examined the object behind closed doors in secured facilities. And if the sphere truly exhibited properties beyond conventional science, such as unknown elements or internal structures that defied physics, it would have been a powerful incentive to quietly remove it for classified research. Supporting this suspicion was the fact that Dr. J. Allen Hynek, the respected astronomer and former government UFO consultant, was later reported to have possessed a near-identical metallic sphere in his personal collection. Heck never confirmed it was the Betz sphere, but members of his family admitted that the object had been linked to a UFO case in Florida. Was this the real Betz sphere spirited away during the investigation? The change in behavior, the newly visible seam, and the family's feeling that the sphere had somehow died all point to a chilling possibility that the true artifact was confiscated and replaced with a decoy. If so, what happened behind the scenes may have been just as strange as the sphere itself, raising the possibility that some secrets were never meant to be revealed. The sphere was never definitively identified. It eventually faded from public view, but the mystery remains. A stainless steel ball that hummed, rolled, pulsed in sunlight, and defied explanation, found in the ashes of a Florida forest and studied by some of the most respected minds of the time. To this day, no one can say with certainty what the Betz sphere was or where it is now. Across the globe, for decades and possibly centuries, reports of mysterious spherical objects in the sky have surfaced. Silent, reflective, often motionless or moving with impossible speed. In Mexico City, entire neighborhoods have filmed fleets of shining orbs hovering in broad daylight. Hundreds of witnesses, yet no official explanation. In Ukraine and again in Iraq, military forces have tracked fast-moving metallic spheres, often dubbed UAPs, flying at hypersonic speeds with no visible propulsion and performing maneuvers no known aircraft can replicate. In Japan, beachgoers stumbled upon a giant metal orb that washed ashore. Authorities cordoned off the area. The object vanished from the news within days. Then there are the high-altitude spy balloons, or so we're told. But when no payloads are recovered and no country claims them, the questions multiply. Even NASA in recent years has quietly admitted that metallic spherical UAPs are among the most frequently reported shapes, and they don't behave like drones, satellites, or balloons. Are they probes, surveillance devices, dimensional beacons? We still don't know. But what's becoming clear is that the Buga and Betz spheres may not be isolated incidents at all. They may just be the few that made it to the ground.